The Elder Scrolls Legends was quite interesting in the fact that it had several different campaigns throughout its time, and all of them actually added quite a bit of lore to the Elder Scrolls universe. The original stories were told by a character called Kellan, who's only known for stealing an Elder Scroll, and has a guard called Narg, who is a Khajiit. And the first time they are seen is by a campfire, with him sitting there with his owl, and he's telling them about the stories of Forgotten Hero, which is your character in Elder Scrolls Legends, and many of the things that he has done in the past, or at least what the Elder Scrolls have shown him. And basically, these portray 3 of the 4 campaigns, these different stories, and there are actually some quite nice ones that add a lot to the game. Not only do these serve as excellent tutorials, but they also get you different cards in the game, and it's something which honestly is probably one of the best features in a card game that you get, especially for a free-to-play. Now, the original Forgotten Heroes storyline was for free, but then all the other DLC, or I say DLC, extended storylines either cost 1,000 gold per act, which you could grind for in-game like I did, or pay, I believe, £20 or dollars, or whatever it is in your country. But this episode, what I want to go into is the missed potential that they didn't capitalise on from making more campaigns, or at least what they could have done with what's actually from these campaigns into, say, multiplayer modes, and really kind of make the most out of those systems already in the game. So starting with the single player, we're going to analyse what they did really well and what I think is just very impressive. So with the campaigns, not only was it that they actually told very well delivered stories, they also had reoccurring characters that you got to know. So we'll start on the 3 Direwolf digital campaigns. There's your character, the Forgotten Hero, who is never even really described much. It's just describing what the party is doing. You have Swims at Night, who appears in multiple of the campaigns. You have Tyr, who's there for the first campaign, and Lanath, who also reappears for another campaign. And these characters are ones which have slightly different personalities. There's not enough really there for you to get to know them very well or care that much, but there's still enough there for you to see that there's some sort of kind of characters between them. And throughout these campaigns, you're making tons of choices, and by tons I mean a few, but these choices not only have like different outplays on the story, but will reward you with different cards. Like for instance, in the first campaign, there's a situation where you get given the Orb of Vaermina, and Tyr is held captive, and you have to decide whether you're going to either spare his life by returning the Orb of Vaermina, or keep it but lose Tyr, and depending on which one you choose, gives you a certain legendary. And it's something like this which is really nice because it allows new players to sort of see these cards and realise, oh, I'm going to want that one, so I'll choose this route, while also being given cards just for playing through the campaign anyway, and getting to learn how to play the game. Another thing that the campaign did really well is that certain missions had different lanes and different effects, and because what I mean by different lanes is like they had, instead of it just being field lane and shadow lane, they had very random and wacky ones, which would be excellent for kind of arena game modes sometimes, as some of them were very situational. For instance, I don't think I've ever seen a stealth minigame in a card game. Like, I mean, I've seen it a lot in things which don't really need it, like Dragon Age 2, Assassin's Creed 4 in the ship bits. I need to really specify that because ship stealth was stupid. And it actually manages to work it in a creative way which makes sense for that minigame, but also isn't ridiculously insane and stupid that you just get super livid and just don't want to play it because it doesn't make any sense. And the idea of having a lot of creative ideas with card games is something that I really liked in this and in Thronebreaker: The Witcher Tales, but that's a fully priced game. So the fact that these are possibly free expansions if you grind for them, or £20 if you just buy the bundle, well, it really is, like, there's very high quality content in these. Now, of course, I know they couldn't really add stealth segments or those other really creative minigame versions into multiplayer because they're only there for kind of short minigames in between proper card games in the campaign. It is still something very nice which could possibly appear if they made the arena more like a bit of a story, like you have to go training every once in a while, and then you have like sparring matches, you need to get your equipment, but then there's like thieves along the road and you have to evade them. There was things that they could just work it in to kind of make their more story side a bit more interesting. But anyway, I don't really want to actually be too negative on these because they were so well written and made that I've said that several times in this video. Now, I'm going to move on to the Isle of Madness next, as it's the most recent one and possibly the one I was most hyped for. So this is the only one that Sparky Pants Studios made. All the others were made by Direwolf Digital. And the only real clear difference in the theme behind it that you can see is, instead of it being a prophecy in the Elder Scrolls made or discussed by Kellan, Kellan's just talking about a time he read a journal. And it's really interesting actually to kind of see that different side and hear what your character is thinking, because you're reading through as Talim, I believe his name is, and he's basically just trying to reclaim the sanity of his son, but then there's lots of plot twists, and it actually got to me when I first saw it. I was like, wait, what? This happened? No way. And I think that if stories like this could do so much when it's just for a card game, imagine what they could do with, say, building up hype and stuff for the Elder Scrolls 6. And moving on to that topic actually, let's say they did continue making campaigns. I know the game's no longer in production, but this is me talking about some of the missed potential here, is that when Elder Scrolls 6 inevitably comes out in like 2024, 2025, however many years, wouldn't it be so great if like they showed off where it is? Let's just say it's in Hammerfell, for instance, and then Legends dropped a new campaign about one of the kind of groups of like Akaviri swordsmen or something, and it's something which would give you a lot more lore into this next game and would further build up that hype. And that's like the genius behind having a card game like Legends, is that it's something that you can use as a side thing to just kind of build up hype for your bigger games. So, I mean, they can still do this with Elder Scrolls Blades if they had, like, a Hammerfell event, for instance, just before, where they had, like, these new Akaviri swordsmen attack your town or something, and it really was creative. But, no, I feel like Elder Scrolls Legends, the storytelling in it is so much better than what I've seen from what I have played of Elder Scrolls Blades, where it just doesn't really connect to you. While in this, you have these excellent stories told to you, you get beautiful art just thrown in front of you, while this narrator, who remains consistent so you remember the characters, keeps on like giving you this more and more information, and it is really cool. Moving back towards when I was talking about the cards and how they were implemented into the game, when they have dropped big expansions throughout the last year, and it was just this massive set where you could buy packs, it didn't really feel too rewarding, because you just have to buy a bunch of packs and then see what you get. While with this, when they dropped the Isle of Madness, although there weren't anywhere near as many cards, it was still that thought of, oh, I've got to work for that one if I want it, and I actually get that reward from playing the story. Like, so I remember I got Dark Seducer from breaking back into New Sheoth, which was just something really cool. And I really did like what effect it had when you kind of got to have card set or cards while doing something as a reward. So I felt like maybe something that in the past with these campaigns they could have done as potential is release a large expansion with a campaign where you can get some of the cards, but then don't force people to get those campaigns to get those cards. Say, for instance, what I mean by this is we'll make a campaign, and at the end of each act you get given a legendary, and at the end of each mission you'll get given like one random common or rare, and every once in a while an epic. And then that means that these cards aren't restricted to the campaign, but if you end up grinding for the campaigns or paying for the campaigns, you'd just be given some really nice cards towards the set and would be further incentive for people to buy it. But I'm not here to completely talk about marketing, financial ideas and whatnot, because that's not anything in my expertise at all. I suppose the only expertise I could have in any matter is creativity with custom cards, not quality, creativity. And I definitely think that with modes or with expansions like this, it definitely adds a lot more content and would bring back a lot more players. And it would be so nice if we could just get another set of cards or anything for this game. instead of just having to wait once a month to get a single card and then not being too excited over it. Personally, I am actually very interested as well to know what you guys think of the campaigns, just because I personally have mentioned in this that I really like them, but I do know a few people who weren't really a fan of it and just thought, oh, I'm here just for the multiplayer. But what would you think of these if they were basically just to extend on the lore and kind of go along supporting whatever's going along in the Elder Scrolls universe? Because these could have explored several different narratives, and in fact, if any of you guys want to put in the comments, what kind of story would you have loved to see them kind of explore with Elder Scrolls Legends like this? Say, would it be something like, oh, I want to go to Morrowind, I want to go to different Daedric realms, I want to see someone else's perspective from the Oblivion Crisis? Because with the abilities of them showing that in that final story they did, that they weren't just restricting themselves to the Forgotten Hero, there's so many possibilities that they could have done, and it really is a shame that they missed this potential. And if you want, in a future video, I could do some campaign ideas that I would like, and then make some cards for them. Let me know in the comments what you guys want, but I don't want to waffle this video too much, because I'll be honest, I'm running out of things to say. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this little just discussion about the campaigns and what I think I would have loved to see them do. If you do enjoy content like this, let me know. Like and subscribe, it always means a lot to me. And hopefully I'll see you next time